does tend to play most of her shots from right to left.
Graphite shafted irons, huh, Gary?
They're asking for it to get up, and it takes a nice little hop forward. Not bad at all. Back at the long, tough par 4-7, second shot for Emily Klein. This is one of the straightest hitters playing ladies professional golf. Doesn't hit it very far, but really can hit it straight, and that is a very nice shot on the proper level. And we'll go to 10.
This long par 5, this is Lisa Walters for birdie, this to get to 2 under. Just off the mark. She'll remain at 1 under and back to 6. Kim Williams, this will be a birdie attempt for her. Again, struck in the neck by a stray bullet while entering a drugstore during the week of the Youngstown Warren LPGA Classic back in '94. It was in a very precarious position, underwent surgery, held off on the surgery, but finally had it, removed it in '95. And again, as we mentioned, at Pine Needles, had a share of the lead with their opening round of 69 a couple of years ago. And again, having a fine opening round here at 2 under with birdies at the 1st and the 4th.
See that beautiful vegetation around the greens here. Not beautiful to hit out of, but beautiful to look at.
Reminds me a lot of Pumpkin Ridge last year, Johnny, that natural flowing farmland.
Makeable putt. Good tempo, good speed.
She
good
ties
line.
Laura Davies.
Wow.
At 3 under. 3 birdies in the first 6 holes for Kim Williams, as once again she is making her presence known on the first day. On the first page of the leaderboard, Laura Davies, the co-leader in the clubhouse, as Kimberly Williams has tied her at 3 under. First round coverage of this United States Women's Open Championship continues from Black Wolf Run in Kohler, Wisconsin.
Criswell Power Sports, your newest resource for Tiger Shark personal watercraft and Arctic Cat ATVs and snowmobiles. And now our spring open house means you get great savings. Plus, we carry all the accessories with the newest trailers and loaders. Save big at the spring open house right now at Criswell Power Sports in Gaithersburg, located at Criswell Chevrolet. Criswell sets the standard for service and customer satisfaction. See our ad in your local paper.
Prices have just been slashed
on thousands of incredible items
at the sale to end all sales.
The store closing.
Final sale
At your neighborhood Montgomery Ward store.
Take total liquidation savings of 30 to 50% off all jewelry.
Take 10 to 30% off all electronics.
30% off all shoes.
And 20% off each and every air conditioner.
The once-in-a-lifetime savings.
Go on and on.
At Montgomery Ward's store closing.
Final sale.
This is one experience
you don't want to miss.
She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. Check that. She loves me not.
From conducting national championships to programs for inner-city kids, the USGA celebrates and supports the most fickle, most beautiful game in the world.
She loves me. She must really hate me.
We nurture and protect it. We look out for its welfare. We establish rules and instill values. We remember its infancy and marvel at its growth. But we also plan for its future, like any devoted parent. True, the USGA didn't give birth to golf, but for more than 100 years, we've been its legal guardian.
Welcome back, everybody. First round coverage of this 1998 U.S. Women's Open Championship. And while we have a moment, we'd like to congratulate Kendra and Jack Graham on the birth of their first child, Justin, just a few weeks ago, coming into the world. Kendra is, of course, a familiar face in the world of golf, the USGA's Director of women's competition, and we do miss her this week. And new father Jack is, of course, ABC's golf producer. We wish all the Grahams the best, and congratulations on their new addition, Justin. Out to 13, Gary Koch.
Thank you, Dan. On the tee, Jenny Shasiraporn. This par 3 measuring just 132 yards in length.
What a swing, Gary.
Yeah, she's powerful, Johnny. A very good player. Just coming off a birdie at 12, currently at 1 over. We go to the 7th. Emily Klein for just the 5th birdie of the day here at number 7. Down the hill. Should move a little right. And I would think very satisfied.
Well, the best in the PGA Tour take to the links in Cromwell, Connecticut. Stuart Sink will be on hand to defend his title at the Canon Greater Hartford Open. Challenging him will be the likes of Justin Leonard, John Daly, and also Casey Martin, who will be playing his first regular tour event. We saw him at Olympic Club at the U.S. Open. Second round coverage begins tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 8 a.m. Pacific. The Canon Greater Hartford Open. 2-8 again.
Pat Bradley has this putt for a birdie 2. Chance to move to 2 under par for the championship. Type of putt that you really can go ahead and take a run at. It's slightly up the hill. Should be moving a little to her left. I think she's calling for the towel. Looks like we may have wiped a little something off the line and wants to get it off her hand.
Gary, what a story it would be. The oldest Women's Open champion was Faye Crocker back in 1955, and here is Pat Bradley at 47, at least in the hunt early.
Well, you have to be a little bit surprised, I guess, Dan. Her best finish this year on the LPGA Tour is a tie for 18th, so certainly no indication coming in here that she was going to play so well. I think she's overread the brakes slightly, but good effort. And now back at the par 3 13th. Shasiraporn for her second consecutive birdie. And Jenny will be a junior at Duke University this fall, so quite a golf team Duke University will have with Beth Bauer joining her there. It's really a speed putt down the hill, moving left to right. Just depends on how hard you hit it as to how much it'll turn. Ooh, good try. Shasiraporn will also represent the United States and the USGA in the Curtis Cup matches coming up in August in Minneapolis. Should have a very strong team there. Nice mix of veterans and younger players. And we speak of the Curtis Cup team, and there they are. Very strong group. Should be an interesting and I'm sure exciting competition. And we'll go to number 9 and Roger Mulvey.
Jane Geddes has driven the ball to the right of the fairway here. And actually, you would think a good angle at the hole, which is located on the left side, but there are some trees that hang over the front right, which can affect this shot. She push the ball just right, she doesn't want the ball going left. There's water if she pulls the ball much to the left, also a bunker left. This is a scary looking shot. 168 yards. Reasonable lie, but not the best. Oh, this is a pretty well played shot. Just a matter of distance. That is really good.
Geddes safely aboard the 9. Now Nancy.
Nancy Lopez, 154 yards to the hole. Wind against the players here from the right. Doesn't have a real good angle at the hole. Has to play across right edge of the bunker guarding the left side of the green, so not as much room to work with. I'm sure she'd be looking right of the hole and see if she can turn this a little right to left.
Roger, hasn't she missed several shots in a row to the right?
She has. She's not has not played very well at this point, John.
I know she has a tendency to aim way right.
This is a 6 iron. Got this ball turning right to left, just right of the hole, but hit a little thin, just hit a bullet. Never got the ball very high.
Nancy continues to struggle. She's at +4. By the way, Pat Bradley did make her par on the previous hole, the par 3/8. Pat is at 1 under par. And time now for Johnny Miller to take us on another one of his quick golf course tours. And today he covers some of the key holes on the back 9 here at Black Wolf Run, beginning at the 9th.
The 9th is a nice little par 4 along the river here. It's just 395 yards, but an interesting tee shot. It favors a nice fade off that bunker that you see in the distance, and it leaves most of the players around 150 yards into this green. You can see you have to cross the river, so if you're out of play on the drive, you have big trouble here. You might have to lay it up short and then go on in. See a long, slender green. The 12th hole at 410 yards, a long dogleg right par 4, a key hole, because if you miss it right, those trees are really in play, and the bunkers also. So if you can fade a little drive down there, leaves about 160 to 175 yards. Look at this bunker on the right, a long, slender bunker guards the whole right side here, and a rolly green, a good par 4 right here. 13th hole is a nice par 3, just 132 yards, and you can tell right here it's a tough 132. Look at the water on the right, all down the right side. It's a very windy open area right here, so the wind can play havoc with your shots. A lot of balls will be hit to the left, you can see, because it's so visually intimidating. You see a lot of players bail left because they're worried about going in the water, and it's a rolly green, so par is a very good score here. We're looking down now at the 14th hole, a par 4, just 310 yards, and look at how exciting this tee shot is. You need to fade it off the tee if you can. Aim in the left edge of the rough, fade it into that crisscross area right there. Water is definitely in play, a very open area. Winds are very strong right in this spot right here. If you can drive it just sort of this little knob that's sticking out, it leaves you just a little 9 iron, maybe a wedge into this long, slender green guarded by water on the right and bunker on the left. 16th hole, one of the longest par 5s in open history for the women. 540 yards. Look at all the problems left. Bunker right blocks you out with the trees on the right, and you have slenders down there for the long hitter. So now you got to make a choice, because right here where the shaded area where this tree stick out, it's about a 120-yard shot, and that tree on the left really comes into play. That's just 50 or 60 yards to the green from there. And if you're worried about the tree on the left, look at the mounding on the right that can get your ball and leave you a very awkward lie and a problem with this long, slender green. 17th hole, a wonderful par 3, 164 yards. And you can see how the wind comes off this lake here, and really is a big issue. Short of the green is dead. And look at this area right of the green. A lot of players will bail right because the water on the left is 6 feet deep right there. A very difficult pitch shot going away from the players, and a lot of problems with a very rolly type green. 18th hole is a great finishing hole, par 4, 421 yards. You can see the problems off the tee to the right, the bunker, and then the water, especially on the left. Perfect shot is right down the right side with a little power hook. That'll leave the players a mid-iron, maybe even a long iron fairway wood into this green, because it's a long par 4. You see the water on the left, again, a big issue. A lot of players will be bailing right. You can see this rolly green. It does accept a nice draw shot. And this golf course is tough. Pete Dye is unrelenting, and so the players better be on their best game.
It is the second longest in women's open history. The longest was 1960. The Open there, staged at San Diego Country Club. That was a 6,470-yard course in 1960. So it's been a long time since the Open has been staged on along a course as this. And Nancy Lopez getting the encouragement from the fans.
You have to cross that long bridge over the river, and it's sort of a bottleneck of people, and you get real close to the gallery there, closer there than almost anywhere, and they're really trying to pull for her to get it going, and she's struggling.
Nancy is at +4, and we'll go back to the tee at 8.
And the tee shot for Emily Klein. Very simple golf swing. Not very long, but hits it very straight. It's pulled just slightly.
Green's firming up, I hear.
Yeah, it really is, John. The shots that we're seeing get close here at 8 are landing short. We go to number 9.
And the third shot for Nancy Lopez. Roger?
Just through the green on a bit of a downhill slope. The problem is all the grass is growing against her. Kind of shot you'd like to hit something straight-faced and run it. She's got about 45 feet to the hole, but she's going to have to play something lofted. Tough shot.
Usually come up short with the end of the green.
Yep. It's not going to run it out, John. That's exactly what happened. Terrible lie for the shot she needed to play.
It's just pros just don't seem to get it. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter where you go. People into the green, they leave it way short, and it's just hard to visualize. You need to hit it way past, or try to. Let's take a look at this. Real low takeaway, almost too low if you ask me. Catches way too much grass. She started hitting grass 6 inches behind the ball there. That is not going to get it, that technique right there. You got to play it back in your stance, pick it up quick, and get on the ball first.
Lopez facing the prospects of her 5th bogey on this front 9. Over to 10. This a moment ago. Third shot on the par 5 for Dottie Pepper. Out of the rough. On this 564-yard hole. Longest hole in major championship history for the women. And Dottie Pepper still in the rough.
Tough hole.
Now live, let's bring in Kay Cockrell with this group.
And Dottie really made a mistake back on her layup shot, hitting it into the rough, and she could not get a, good controlled shot into the screen. She tried to hit just the front portion of the green, knowing that it was going to release, and it got caught up in this little grass bunker area.
That grass is all leaning one direction also. Is it to the right more than into? Can you tell?
Yeah, it's kind of sloping down the slope.
So it's just a cross grain, which isn't too bad.
But it is a good 4 or 5 inches below her feet. And the green slopes away from her, so this is really going to be a tricky little pitch shot.
Got enough green to stop it, though, on a normal pitch shot, just landing it just on?
Yes.
Yeah, if nothing else, she'll will it in there, huh? I landed it way too far short, I would think. I wanted to land it just maybe a couple inches short of the green. Not too bad. The line was more of a problem than anything.
Has that left for par to remain at even. We mentioned how long this hole is. Again, 564 yards. We'll give you the stats on the previous longest hole in a second, but before that, we go to 8.
And the birdie putt, I guess you would call it. Putting from the fringe, but a long way away for Emily Klein. Interesting, this group. All 3 players played their collegiate golf at Arizona State University. Amy Fruworth, Emily Klein, and Wendy Ward. Catch some flag. Whoa. And we'll go to 9.
Jane Geddes looking for this birdie.
This back uphill from just inside 30 feet should move a little bit from right to left.
Sort of where you want it, huh, Raj?
It is a place you can be aggressive from, but slow putt.
Well, here is the second shot for Pat Bradley at the par 4 9th, out of the rough. All she can do is just pitch out back into the fairway.
She might have been able to make it, but the thing is she had enough experience to lay it up, which is hard to do because she really only gained a couple yards on that shot.
Over to 14, Gary.
It's par 4, the shortest on the golf course at 310 yards, and as one might expect, also playing the easiest hole on the course today. A very generous hole location on the left side of the green, down in a hollow, and it seems as though every ball wants to feed right toward it.
Has anybody made it today, Gary?
Well, we haven't had anybody make it, but we've had some balls very close, Johnny. Shasirpour now, second shot. This should be from just under 100 yards. Good acceleration. Coming right at it, and that, thank you very much, should be pretty good. Back at the lengthy par 4 7th. Second shot now for Kim Williams. Jane Crafter's with her.
Yes, Kim has driven it perfectly down the left side, has only 152 yards to this whole location. Downwind a little bit, I think just a smooth 6-iron for Kim.
Well, asking for a bounce, she got it. Bounced forward and right, and that will leave a very interesting putt. You see her start, very impressive. 3 birdies in the first 6 holes. To number 9.
Nancy Lopez trying to save her par.
It's a quick putt once it gets going over that hill.
Not to be, and Nancy Lopez will post her 5th bogey on the front 9 and move to +5. Over to 8.
Par putt now for Emily Klein to remain in red figures. Just a slight break to the left. A little too much break. The aggressive first putt was the cause of that bogey. Laura Davies, Kimberly Williams tied for the lead in the first round of the 53rd United States Women's Open.
The farmers have been bringing us their harvest for 45 years. Then the farm co-op brought me something different. News that soybeans like ours could be used to make a cooking oil, fry up snack chips without adding any fat or calories. At Crisco, they figured without all the fat of regular chips, this Olean could help lots of people eat a little healthier. Well, all I say is doing good starts right in your own backyard.
New fat-free Olean, a good place to start.
Heading up the research team, I do 3 or 4 dives a day. Long hours, bag lunches, but I can't afford to get slowed down by irregularity. My doctor recommended Metamucil. It's not a chemically altered fiber, not an artificial stimulant. The only leading brand with 100% natural fiber is Metamucil. Keeps me regular, gently. So the only thing dragging is the anchor.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
Dottie Pepper trying to save her par at the par 5 10th. Nicely done. And Pepper just keeps cranking out the pars, remains at even for this championship through 10 holes. Fine save there as you look at Laura Davies and Kimberly Williams, both at 3 under. Williams with a lot of golf left in her first round. Leslie Spalding, and also one of those surprises on the leaderboard, an opening round of 69, competing in just her 3rd U.S. Women's Open at 2 under. Over at 6, this is Michelle Redmond for a birdie at the par 3. She's got birdies on the 2nd and 5th hole already and is at 2 under.
Good angle to putt from. Just a 146-yard hole. Probably at a big 8 or a little 7-iron. Gotta hit it. Very tentative there. That was a putt you could give a roll.
And back over to 9. Pat Bradley's 3rd shot. Again, her tee shot in the rough. Had to punch out to this point.
Hole's right there.
Again, Bradley at 1 under. Trying to stay in red figures.
Wow, what a recovery.
She'll have an excellent chance at saving her par. And back to 7.
And Kim Williams will take her time, I would think, eyeing this putt, Jane.
Oh, Gary, she has her work cut out here. This is Pete Dye at his finest. We've got a big collection area that her ball is in, and she's got to come up over quite a steep ridge. The ball will feed a little bit from the right to left as it comes up over that hill. Judging the pace is going to be a trick, Gary.
Well, that has been the difficulty, no question about it, Jane. You have to hit the ball firmly enough for it to climb the ridge, but then not so firmly that it doesn't race by as it goes down the other side.
Yeah, exactly. The place to leave it on this green is definitely where Helen Dobson has left it, right on the front portion. And Kim probably was in between clubs and did pull it, so that will add a little bit of distance to it. I'd say it's about 45 feet. And definitely pace is the key, but line is important too, because if you just get it a little bit off line, you can really end up a long way away from the hole.
You can see that ridge very definite in your screen right there, and once it gets up on top, it just takes off down towards that bunker.
is pretty well judged, I'd say.
I would have to agree. I think she'd be very pleased with that, Gary.
And ahead to the 14th. Jenny Searporn for her birdie. And this to go to even par for the championship. Nice birdie. That's 2 in her last 3 holes. And the young amateur playing well. We go to 11.
On the tee, par 4, 374 yards. This is Dottie Pepper.
And that was certainly a dramatic par for Dottie. Really pumped her up. Looking to hit it down the left center of this fairway, as the pin is on the right portion of the green.
You can see the width of these fairways, Kay, they're pretty wide. You don't see too many top players miss the fairway. The whole golf course really is a approach shot course. The tee shots are quite easy, actually, but I think it's set up well to make par a good score.
Back over to 6, Michelle Redmond for her par, to remain at 2 under. And she will suffer her first drop shot of the day, and still not in for bogey. Michelle finished tied for 7th last year at Pumpkin Ridge. That was her best performance in 6 opens.
That first putt was downhill, down green. Now she's got just a little bit into the green. Not much green on these greens, but a little slow here. Got hit solidly.
And she's in, but drops to 1 under. Couple of shots behind the co-leaders. Davies in the clubhouse, and Kim Williams still working the course. Michelle broke through for a big win last year at the JAL Big Apple Classic. Recorded her first win in her 7 years on the LPGA Tour. Back to the 10th, and on the tee of this monster par 5, 564 yards, is Nancy Lopez.
Just one of those holes you have to hit 3 good shots. Most of the players are leaving themselves 150 yards for their 3rd shot. That's how long this hole is. It's just that ball is starting to get a little bit of roll. This morning it wasn't rolling much, but you can't miss a shot there.
And back to 7.
And the par putt now for Kim Williams. It's only 2.5, maybe 3 feet, but certainly delicate downhill. Okay, nicely done. Any par at 7 is a good one. She'll remain at 3 under par for the championship and tied for the lead with Laura Davies. Up to the 9th.
Burton for birdie.
Sort of an adventurous putt. There's a little bit of a knob right in this area here that goes both ways. She has to putt it up there, and then the hole location is down over here. Now it starts to turn over, and she does not get it over that rise, and very disappointing putt.
Still some work done for Brandy to remain at +1.
Yeah, it's one of those you'd think, geez, what was I thinking of there?
Well, she'll have some more time to think about it as we check out some of the panels and the leaderboard. Laura Davies again with a 68, part of the morning group. Kim Williams working the golf course now, tied with her at 3 under. We saw Sari Pak and Pat Hurst also at 2 under. Donna Andrews, the leading money winner on the LPGA Tour this year, opening round of 70. Annika Sorenstam battled back. Finished with an opening round even par 71. Some of the other notable players as we take a look. Betsy King +2, 73 for Betsy, and we'll get to those players in a moment. Julie Inkster at +4, 75 for her. She had high hopes coming into this championship. Still not over, a lot of golf left, but finished 2nd to Annika Sorenstam last week. See Jan Stevenson there with an opening round of 73. And the amateur Beth Bauer, 2nd youngest player in the field at +2. Hollis Stacy, 3-time Women's Open champion. Martha Nowzy, Sheboygan native, very excited to play near her hometown. back out 2-9. This is Brandy Burton trying to save her par and remain again at +1.
It's a hook putt. She needs to throw it out, and it gets a little quick once it makes its left turn. You can see her aiming out in this area here.
Is it high enough? Yes.
Well, a gutsy 2-putt on Dan.
And Burton plays the front side 36 +1. Now Pat Bradley, this for par to remain at 1 under.
This would be a pleasant little 4 also, after having to lay it up short of the river in 2. A lot of times when you have the guts to lay it up, even though you probably could have made it 1 out of 2 or 3, it's amazing how many times you'll knock it close. So when you use your head, somehow it seems like you get rewarded on that 3rd shot, and you give yourself a good chance to make a hard way par. This is a slow putt. Big thing is just to hit it flush. Not a lot of break, just should be just a little bit right to left, I think.
I don't know if I mentioned that Faye Crocker was 40 years old in 11 months. The oldest Women's Open champion in 55. And again, Bradley 47, trying to stay at 1 under. Does so. So Pat Bradley continues to turn back the clock. What a front side 34 for Bradley, and the crowd behind the 9th green appreciates it. 2-11, second shot for Dottie Pepper.
Dottie with a 6-iron has 149 yards to the pin, but she's zeroing in on trying to land this just about 140, maybe 142, knowing that if she flies it at the pin, it may run the risk of going all the way to the back of the green.
Knock it down, wind. Knock it down.
You know, pulled it a little, and that gave it some extra yardage as well.
14.
Second shot on the way for Beth Bauer, the young amateur, currently at 2 over par. And again, everything funneling right in toward that hole location. She'll have a very makeable putt. And some very fine play from Bauer and Chasiraporn, who actually met in the finals of the Women's North-South Amateur a few weeks ago, with Bauer being victorious.
It's beautiful tempo, Gary, and of course Chasiraporn looks like she's ready to dominate the LPGA right
yes,
now.
Yes, she does. She is powerful. Beth is got quite a personality too. She was actually named Florida Sports Personality of the Year earlier this year down in our area of Tampa.
It's not hard to do in your area, though, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Gary, how many votes did you get for sports personality?
Probably not many, Dan.
I voted for you. Let's go to 11.
Just kidding.
Again, the par 4, 374 yards.
Helen Alfredson next to play, 145 yards to the pin. Breeze into her face just slightly.
Hole location right there. Just over that bunker.
How about this hole location?
It's actually, I think, tougher. It looks tougher than it really is. If you hit a good solid shot, there's enough room there. You should be able to, you know,
how about going right at it?
iron, go right at it. It's not that big of an issue. Just visually, it looks awkward.
Over to 8.
And Kim Williams on the tee.
Gary, Kim has 161 yards to this par 3. The wind is picking up a little bit from her left to right. She wants to start this probably about 10, 15 feet left and let it drift into the pin.
Needs to land the ball short of hole high.
It's headed right.
Plays cut shots, guys.
Well, it appeared as though she tried to there, John,
Yeah.
without much success. Ball looked like it nestled down quite deeply. You see her here, her last 2 U.S. Women Open results, 25th and 19th. Good solid play.
Just looked like she locked up a little bit through impact, Gary, and just sort of might be at the point where she's starting to, you know,
notice that she's at the top of the leaderboard, John.
It's tough, you know. The release in the golf swing is the key. You know, if you can keep releasing it consistently, you can play under pressure.
What? Second shot, Emily Klein, Johnny.
Little chase move. She has she almost looks like she's scared there, like, what did I do? I got away with it a little bit thin, but a little thin to win.
And that left for birdie for Emily to get to 1 under. Back over to 10. Meg Mallon. Roger?
Third shot of Meg Mallon in this par 5 from 131 yards. Makes a hard hop left. Just hasn't been a lot of exciting golf between these three. It's been slow going so far.
Two pretty good shots there by Geddes, huh, Roger?
The longest tee shot of the day, the marshal told me, 273 yards off the tee.
What a lever.
Has 87 yards to the hole.
What'd she hit on the second shot?
She hit a 5-wood.
A little bit heavy, Raj. Is it all right?
A little bit heavy and left. It was not, just not hit real well there.
By the way, Beth Bauer did make a birdie at 14 to get to +1, so she continues to play very well. Now, Nancy Lopez is next. We mentioned that this is the longest par 5 in women's major championship history. The previous longest par 5 back in 1985 at the Women's Open at the upper course at Baltusrol. That measured 540 yards. This is a 564-yard hole.
Well, I think she's going to birdie this, Roger. This is going to get stiff.
Just 63 yards left of the hole.
5 over after 9 holes. No birdies.
Stand there and see how it hits. Oh.
Come on down. Come on down.
Caught up in the fringe. I don't think it's going to come off, John.
Okay.
And ahead to 11, Dottie Pepper, this for birdie.
And this is going to be quite a test to two-putt this. She, right about where she's standing, she paced up to, and she has about 18, 20 feet to that point. Now that's a point she's looking to try to die her putt at, just at the top of that ridge.
You can see in the screen the difference in the color. There's a little ridge right there. There's a different change in color. You can see it's down, different grain. The grain, of course, is running this way. That's why it's shiny over here, and then it turns into the grain here. That's why it's dark. So she's trying to throw it right up on top of that ridge and then let gravity be your friend.
It's almost like she's not even thinking of the hole, Johnny. She's just looking at that spot. Only looking at the hole to remind herself of the speed.
Hole's right down there. Down it goes.
But well by it goes.
She says have a wreck.
So Dottie Pepper will have that to save par. She's got 8 pars already in the first round of this Women's Open.
This is your brain. This is heroin. This is what happens to your brain after snorting heroin. And this is what your body goes through. It's not over yet. This is what your family goes through. And your friends and your money. And your job and your self-respect and your future. Any questions?
HTS, ready for fireworks all July. Orioles, 10 games, interleague battles. Fox Baseball Thursday night. DC United. NASCAR, more motorsports and Fast Track Friday. The best in tennis, golf, AVP Pro Beach V-Ball, Fox Sports News. All the fireworks are here. All July long. Only on HTS, ready to play.
Kim Williams, second shot here at the par 3 8th. Beautifully played out of the primary rough.
She had quite a tough lie there, Gary. Nestled down, and she really played it well. Just played like almost a little explosion shot.
It really is one of the keys to playing well in any Open Championship. The ability to get the ball up and down when you miss the green. We go to 11.
Tammy Green at this par 4. That for birdie. And back to even par. Actually, that birdie will get Tammy Green to +2. Graphic was wrong. +2 for Tammy Green.
It's pretty good, actually, when you make triple on number 7. So be back to 2. She's got to feel pretty good about that.
Birdie at that 9th hole, and then Another one there at 11. As you take a look at in alphabetical order, some of the other scores posted. Amy Alcott, you saw her there at +8. Another one of those golfers that had to qualify to get into this championship.
Yeah, this is the second putt, of course, for par after she came over her approach shot from the fairway, long left, and then did not play the putt off the ridge that well. Kay?
Johnny, she is on just about the same line that Tammy just putted on. In fact, Dottie had to move her ball marker out of the way to allow Tammy to putt. So this putt is just left edge or maybe outside left edge, depending how firmly she wants to hit it. This putt also maybe 4.5, 5 feet.
She's been making these so far.
Pushed it.
Over to 10, a badly needed birdie for Nancy Lopez, Roger.
A putt of only about 15 feet, but there's a lot going on in this putt. It's a little downhill. It's influenced to the left at the start, gets down into the bottom of the valley, and then it may even go back to the right. A very, very hard putt to read. Expected more pace.
A lot of putts short, Roger.
She'll remain at +5 and to 8.
And the par putt now for Kim Williams to remain at 3 under par for the championship. And one that could wiggle just ever so slightly to the right if it's not hit solidly. Good stroke. Good up and down. Kim Williams remains at 3 under and tied with Laura Davies. And we'll go to 9.
Emily Klein, this for birdie. And this to get to 1 under.
Very slow-paced swing in her driver, her irons, her chipping, and her putting. Watch how long the stroke in duration it takes. Beautiful. Just a beautiful stroke. High hands. I mean, that is pure. Maybe the putt is not her best, but that stroke there looks like Ben Crenshaw.
It's a stroke that won an NCAA championship individual title back in '94 when she played for Arizona State. Also was the '91 U.S. Junior Girls Champion. So even before Emily Klein appeared on the LPGA Tour, she had quite a resume to speak of. And 211. This is Helen Alfredson for birdie.
Very makeable putt.
That's squeaked in, and Helen moves to +3. An adventurous opening round so far for Helen. It's at a double bogey. She's had the ace at the 8, and she's also had 4 bogeys to go along with a birdie. So Helen playing like her personality all over the place. She's at +3 for this championship. Michelle McGann now at the 10th. This is her second shot at this par 5.
You can see the flag stick right down there. And going with a big one. It's a long hitter. And into the primary cut, which is got a good angle to come into this right front hole location, but that's what price you pay when you think you go for a green. Now you got a lie that you don't know whether it's going to jump or fluff or scoop or whatever the heck it might do out of there.
Shell is at +4, and we'll remind you that a holiday baseball doubleheader begins at Yankee Stadium as the Orioles, led by Cal Ripken, take on the red-hot New York Yankees and Tino Martinez. Afterwards, watch a West Coast duel when Gary Sheffield leads the Dodgers into San Francisco against Barry Bonds and the Giants. The action begins tomorrow on ESPN at 7:30 Eastern Time.
Orioles have lost 7 in a row. I don't know what's going on there. It's going to be tough against the Yankees.
Johnny taking the place of Peter Gammons on this golf telecast. Didn't know you followed baseball so closely.
Oh, well, I got a good producer that helps me out.
Kim Williams waiting on the 9th tee, the par 4, and right now, for the moment, Jane tied with Laura Davies at 3 under.
Well, it's interesting. I had a chat with Kim in the practice round. I was out pacing the course, and she had this big back brace on her back. And I said, Kim, what is going on? And she said, well, I've been flat on my back till about a week ago. And she got up and gingerly hit a few balls. And the next day she played 3 or 4 holes. The next day 9. The next day 18. So she's coming off an injury. And sometimes when you do that, you don't expect to play well. You put yourself in good position.
And ahead to 11, the tee shot on the par 4, 374 yards, Nancy Lopez.
Well, she had the magic last year for most of the championship, and she hasn't even sniffed it so far. So she's due. The last hole, she was in perfect position to make a birdie, pretty routine birdie at that, and just threw it away with a poor 3rd shot, and that's a good drive.
And over to 9, Emily Klein. This for her par. And Emily remains even very much in the hunt of this 53rd United States Women's Open Championship. Laura Davies has been in the clubhouse at 3 under for a while.
Does a car have instincts? Can it anticipate the next curve? One car can make you believe it does. With a patented steering and suspension system, you have the agility to outsmart the most elusive of roads. Intrigued by Oldsmobile, a sophisticated twist on a sports sedan.
What is a great golf club worth? Ask some people who should know. Last year, Callaway Big Berthas helped tour professionals win more than $100 million. And that makes Big Berthas the most valuable clubs in golf.
I do kitchens, I do bathrooms, I do family rooms. I do not do insurance. I want to be treated like I feel I treat my clients. I want to be treated like I am their only client. Michelle Dutzman treats me the same way I want to be treated. I have my cars, all of my household. I need somebody that I can get advice from. I know that when I need them the most, they're going to be there.
Get to know your State Farm agent.
It's a great relationship.
Baseball players know a lot about home equity loans.
So do football players.
At Superior Bank, we don't play games with your financial future. Instead, Superior has been helping homeowners for over 75 years, helping homeowners reduce their bills to 1 monthly payment and get the cash they need when they need it, even if they've had credit problems in the past. So if you're tired of playing games, call Superior Direct now at 1-888-678-7777.
The co-leader in this U.S. Women's Open, Kim Williams, on the tee at the 9th.
Good par 4. She's going with 3-wood. 395 yards, and puts it down the right side, which is not bad with his front left, well, front middle hole location.
Again, a bogeyless round going for her with 3 birdies as we move ahead to 12. Par 4, 410 yards. Let's bring in Kay Cockrell. Kay?
Tammy Green first to hit. Nice drive. However, she has a long yardage left, 208 yards. This whole playing into the wind today. 183 to the front, pin 25 paces on. Pretty generous opening to the front of the screen, though.
Yeah, it's the opening she's talking about. It will accept a long shot.
Going with a 3-wood. Looks pretty good.
Hops on, Kay, and will feed down.
Always amazed at how fantastically well the fairway wood shots are hit by the LPGA. I mean, this is so much better than the men. It's not even close.
Why is that? They hit more of them?
I think they're more controlled. I just think that the swings and the hitting area is not putting as much spin, so it's not, hooking or fading as much. And man, average shot with a fairway wood's like 10 feet off line. on the LPGA.
Pepper is next, Kay.
Dottie 168 to the front, 193 to the pin, going with a 5-wood.
Yeah, the women think nothing of hitting it stiff with a 5-wood. I mean, like Annika Sorenstam's 7-wood on the 18th hole only missed the hole by an inch. I mean, we didn't even talk about that. I mean, if I ever did that, I'd be going, look at that wood I hit.
Sometimes, Johnny's, the players are look forward to having a yardage that's anywhere from 170 to 190. You almost rather have that than a 5-iron.
Good tempo, that's what you see. Is it going a little right?
Dang it, Dottie!
Yeah, this one is hanging out.
It's a dang it Dottie shot.
Double D in the bunker. Over to the long par 5. This is Brandy Burton's birdie attempt.
You can see this hollow. She's just above the hollow. The hollow's over here in this area here, and she's going to be putting off that hollow. Shoot it to the right. Really comes off of there, and not a bad putt, just underneath the hole.
Back to 12, Helen Alfredsson, second at the par 4.
See how she aims right and then comes over and hangs on. Does her little. That's a demonstrative shot there. That was not happy there.
And Johnny, I think she was trying to cut her 4-iron in there and instead pulled it.
The old double cross, huh? Nothing like a aim left to play a fade and hit a pull hook. Doesn't work real well, especially at Pete Dye courses.
So we had a double D from Dottie and a double cross from Helen, and a couple of words said by both Helen and Dottie playing in this threesome with Tammy Green. And back to 10. This is a birdie attempt for Pat Bradley again at 1 under.
Same situation. We were talking about that little trough that runs here, and of course her ball's going to come off that she's above the trough, so it'll shoot it to the right. You gotta hit it a little harder than you think because you're pushing it up into the hill. She gave it a good whack, actually. Even that, the hill just ate it up. Good putt. These are hard greens to read, especially when I'm sitting here in the tower and just looking at it on the screen. But there are certain troughs that you can get an idea from. But you can see all the different little. There's high spots here, and there's a high spot here, and there's a trough down here, and a hill going this way here. And so, I mean, you just got a lot of movement. And you can see here, she's walking up on the hill now, and now she'll come down into it. But again, this breaks about 3 feet to the right at least.
Pete Dye's greens keep the telestrator hot, don't they?
Yeah, it probably confused everybody.
A lot of undulation, though. Now Michelle McGann is for birdie.
Yeah, we saw her big drive and went for the green, closest to the green I've seen anybody so far today. But didn't get that third shot too close, but good aggressive putt there. But now she's got the tricky right to lefter. Actually, it flattens out there a little bit.
Michelle at +4. Many thought that she would have an excellent shot here with a long golf course. Let's go out to the 12th. Helen Alfredsson after that Aaron's second shot. This is her third, Kay.
Well, this is no easy shot. She actually has a pretty decent lie in this tall grass, but
yeah. The grain of the grass is going this way. That was huge. Sorry there, but it was. If that would have been into the grain, she'd had no chance, Kay. But isn't it with her, the grain?
Yes, you're absolutely right, Johnny. The hardest part about this shot is the fact that she's a tall player, and this ball is a good 6-8 inches below her feet. Sometimes that's kind of an awkward shot to hit. You almost feel like you're going to bump your right thigh when you take the club back.
And this is just a total guess. You just, as a player, you're not quite sure what this is going to do. This could come out hot because of that dry straw, or you could fluff it.
Caught it pretty cleanly.
Take it slow. Come back a little.
Pretty good distance. Just have to work on her aim.
So Helen will have that left for par to remain at +3. And we'll go to 16. Jenny Shasiraporn, her third shot at this par 5, and this is a critical shot.
You can see she was standing right on a little knob there. Her feet were about 3 inches below the ball, which can make you pull it. And it didn't phase her that much except for the distance.
Jenny at +1 and back over to 12. Dottie Pepper's third from the bunker, Kay.
A pretty lengthy bunker shot, about 15, 18 yards, but she has lots of green to work with. A good clean lie in the bunker. I think she has a good opportunity of getting this up close.
That is a massive bunker, isn't it? A great example of the mammoth-sized bunkers on some of the holes here on this Pete Dye course.
Yeah, he makes those bunkers. He doesn't have to rake them, though. That's quite a bunker. Oh. Sort of jumped. The club jumped into the ball a little bit.
So Alfredson and Dottie Pepper have fairly good tests for pars. Alfredson to remain at +3 and Pepper to remain at +1. Laura Davies is the leader in the clubhouse at 3 under as we continue our coverage from scenic Black Wolf Run in Kohler, Wisconsin. Back in a moment.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. 1 capsule daily can provide complete 24-hour heartburn relief because it controls acid for 24 hours. 24 hours. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Call to learn more. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the most prescribed acid control medicine in America, Prilosec.
Conchitoro. Taste says it all.
Announcing one of the most exciting events in sports history, ESPN, the magazine. At last, you've got a magazine that delivers your sports the ESPN way. Issue after issue, you'll be involved like no sports magazine ever involved you before. ESPN, the magazine, is big. Bigger in size, bigger with news, pictures, player profiles, inside information, and amazing access to places you've never been before. So call now for ESPN, the magazine. You'll get a special deal, 26 issues, a whole year's worth, for just $1 an issue. $1 an issue, that's 66% off the newsstand price. And you'll get this great freebie, ESPN, the magazine t-shirt, 100% cotton with the world-famous ESPN, the magazine bullseye logo. ESPN, the magazine. Sometimes you have to read hurt.
Call 1-800-948-3737.
Helen Alfredson for her par 4 at the 12th.
And this would be quite a great par from the tall fescue. 12-footer. Pretty level putt. And the line just need a little more speed.
Helen suffers her second bogey in the last 3 holes, drops to +4 and over at 9. Second shot for Kim Williams, the co-leader at 3 under.
After a good 3-wood on this 395-yard par 4, she made a little bit of a hold-on swing there. Looks like he just won't release the club, and that's why you've seen so many of her shots going right now. Just getting a little tentative through the ball.
To 16, the par 5, Jenny Shasiraporn, this for birdie.
Good pace, huh, Dan?
Still a little work left for a 2-putt from there for par, but Jenny, who turns 21 next month, still enjoying a fine open. Back to 12, Dottie Pepper plumb bobbing for the par.
You're going to make bogeys in this championship. That's pretty much inevitable, but you hate to get on a run where you have 2, maybe 3 in a row. Important for Dottie to get this one in.
To avoid her second straight bogey.
Should have learned something from Alfredson's putt, shouldn't she?
Yes, and Alfredson came up short, you know, didn't give it enough. There's not a whole lot of break to this putt. She can go ahead and be aggressive with it. I think sometimes you can just get a little gun shy out here after you run a few putts by 4 or 5 feet.
Oh, that's a fine putt by Pepper, right in the back of the cup. So she saves the par 4 from the bunker, remains at +1. We've seen a number of those par-saving putts from Pepper today, Johnny, and that's what you have to do to win an Open.
She's stroking it very nicely, no doubt about it.
211. This is another one of those par-saving putts faced by Nancy Lopez. Roger.
Well, through the green to the left on her second chip to this point. A good 5.5 feet, and this putt actually breaks toward the back of the green a little bit. Should move slightly to her right.
He hasn't really made anything of note. This would help.
Anything would help. It's the way it's gone. I think she's a little frustrated now. She certainly has appeared that way walking up the last couple of fairways.
6 over par if she makes this. Huh?
She had 4 rounds in the 60s at last year's Open. That was a record.
And Annika talked about the mistake she made last year, thinking about Sunday on Thursday, and there could be a little bit of that, thinking about, I want to win now, and there's 4 days to do it now.
But Nancy did come in confident, Johnny. She said that she felt great, even though she missed the cut last week, said that she felt like she could make another run. Everything seemed to be in order for her to make another run, but again,
it's tough when every friend you know and every person you run into says, Nancy, you're going to win this year.
Emily Klein, her third at the 10th. Again, the par 5.
You can see the rough caught the club and slowed it down, but it was tracking right on line with the hole, and not too tough a pitch shot from there.
And over to 13, the scenic par 3. Gary?
Yeah, it is indeed, Dan. Just 132 yards today, a front right hole location. We've seen a lot of balls left of the hole, which you would expect with the water all down the right-hand side, but the problem is, once you get it over there, it is no easy two-putt.
It really is a birdie hole, though, if you can just get up and hit it.
Well,
Gary?
John, I think what's happening is we've seen a lot of players maybe misjudge the wind a little bit. It is now from right to left. They're carrying the ball at least hole high or past hole high. The ideal place is right to the front edge of the green. That'll leave you a nice uphill putt. Tammy Green first to play.
Well, actually took it back outside and came right over it.
Well, we've, again, seen a lot of balls in that area. It's safely on, but it is no easy two-putt from there.
I think the ideal shot here, if you can do it, is go ahead and play it right at the flag with a little cut.
But how many of the women really play a cut on the tour? Just a few?
Just a few. Dottie moves the ball pretty well. I mean, her dominant shot is definitely a little draw, but she works on working the ball a little bit left to right.
But wouldn't you say literally 8 or 9 out of 10 players actually play a slight draw?
Yes, straight ball or a little draw. Straight ball is not too bad.
No, doesn't hurt too many players.
As long as you know how to aim it.
Yeah, it's a good birdie opportunity, I think, for her. She's got the guts to pull it off.
Nope, a pull. This will be over in Tammy Green's territory. She'll actually be teaching Tammy Green how to putt this next one.
Over to 9.
Par 4, Kim Williams looking for yet another birdie.
You can see her eyes are looking out in this area here.
Pretty fast putt, Johnny. She read it pretty well, but just a little too much speed. Not a bad place to leave it, though.
Boy, she's not throwing away any strokes, is she?
Back to the tee at 13.
And the tee shot for Helen Alfredson.
Looks like Helen has an 8, maybe a 9 iron. And she's going right at the flag.
Down.
Well, he made one hole in one. She was thinking about another one.
And a good shot, but a tough putt. Downhill, right to left. A lot of break. So it's Laura Davies, who's been in the clubhouse for a long time, at 3 under par. tied with Kim Williams, who's still on the course.
Hi, come on in. You gotta see this.
This home's air ducts hadn't been cleaned in 5 years, so the owners called Mountain Air.
Smart call. Just look at the pure filth Mountain Air removed. And as doctors say, if it's in your ducts, it's in your lungs.
We don't use puny shop vacs. Mountain Air uses a monster vacuum truck to create a tornado in your ducts. The result? You'll breathe clean air.
For clean mountain air, call Mountain Air.
Call right now while clean Mountain Air is on sale.
How do you fit into the corporate world now that Raleigh's is gone? The Raleigh's tradition lives on at Boardroom Limited, where the staff and tailors are seasoned professionals. Boardroom Limited's the only store with all the finest American and British designers, from Hickey Freeman and Hartshafter and Marks to Burberry's. For professional service and expert tailoring, visit Boardroom Limited. Our reputation precedes us. Join us at Boardroom Limited for our summer sale and take 20 to 25% off.
My name is Howard Shaw, and I am blind, but I have a handicap. I have no trouble finding the fairway. I'm blind, but I get butterflies like anyone else. I experience the same satisfactions and the same frustrations. I'm blind, but my passion for the game is 20/20.
Their clubs aren't matched. Their drivers aren't titanium. Their golf shoes aren't golf shoes. But thanks to USGA programs for inner city kids, their heads are down, their knees are flexed, and their hearts are intent on learning this glorious game. Because the USGA acknowledges the importance of a young golfer's swing, but not his address.
This is a short par putt for Kim Williams at the par 4 ninth to remain tied with Laura Davies at 3 under on top.
Oh my word, that's like a miscue there. I'm not sure what she was thinking of, but she was aiming outside left on that short little putt. Pretty good rule of thumb, if you can, always play it inside left, inside right, whatever the break is. Try to keep it inside the hole. Don't ever putt those putts if you can help it when you're going to hit it flush like that outside the cup. You see she was aiming about a ½ an inch outside left edge and just powered it right through. She was off the tour in 1990 and 91. She worked for UPS during that time.
Well, the first blemish on her scorecard today, a bogey at 9. She falls to 2 under. And this is Emily Klein for par at the 10th. That is her fiance, Ken Harms, on the bag this week, as he usually is.
Well, that'll test a relationship.
To 13, Gary.
Well, thank you. We have Dottie Pepper lining up what you'd call a birdie putt, but if this were to go in, I'd be amazed. We have yet to see anyone come close to making a putt from this side of the green.
We were talking about all those mounds and stuff on these greens, Gary. This one's got some sort of hard to read mounds, doesn't it?
Yes, it really does.
You can see a little shiny top right in there, and
this one will come up and over the rise and move to her right. That is one of the better putts we've seen from that side of the green. Nicely judged. We'll go to 16.
Fourth shot on this par 5 for Beth Bauer, just off the green.
It's makeable, definitely, from there. Yeah, you're thinking of only making that, and sometimes that thought of making it makes you blow it by about 3 feet. I do that all the time, and I think, why did they try to make that? Just get it close.
That'll be a par putt coming back to remain at +2, and we'll go back to 13.
Tammy Green is eyeing a putt very similar to Dottie Pepper's. Kay, you think she learned anything?
I think she did. I think she got a good sense of the speed on this putt. Tammy, her ball is about 3 or 4 feet right of where Dottie was putting from, and she's going to have a little more break in her putt. She'll have to play a good 2.5, almost 3 feet of break from left to right. But she did learn a lot from Dottie's in terms of speed.
is what we've seen a lot of. Tentative. You don't hit it firmly enough, it moves dead right. We go to 12.
Third shot, Pat Bradley on this par 4.
Gnarly looking stuff.
Excuse me, this is the 11th.
That was really a gnarly, tough lie. That was the worst lie I've seen so far in the championship for a shot that was not too far off the green.
And at 16, Beth Bauer's par attempt. In. And the amateur remains at +2. Back to 13.
Helen Alfredson has this putt for a birdie. Look where she is aiming this thing, about 6 or 7
right on
feet
this area.
to the right of the hole. Watch this baby turn left. Hit a little too hard. Still a good putt. That, I think, is one of the difficulties of Black Wolf Run. She hit a nice tee shot within 20 feet and had a very difficult putt left. Go to 11.
And this is the 4th shot for par for Pat Bradley. So Pat will drop at least 1 shot today. She has yet to do that. Second shot for Nancy Lopez at the par 4 12th.
Yeah, you want to hit a high cut if you can, and she plays a draw, so not exactly, well, how about in the hole? That was looking pretty good there, Dan.
Nancy needs some pretty good things to happen after bogeying 4 the last 5 to drop to +6, coming into this championship with high hopes after her 4th runner-up finish in an Open last year at Pumpkin Ridge. A gallery of 150 followed Nancy on Monday in the practice round. I mean, the golfers had a difficult time just getting around the course, signing autographs. The attendance here has been excellent. Now Jenny Shasiraporan, this for her par at the 17th.
Nicely in, remains at 1 over par for the championship. A very good opening round. We go back to 13, par putt now for Tammy Green.
Gary, this is a good 5.5, 6 feet. Left to right breaking putt.
Sharply to the right. Oh, thank you. Nicely done. Beautiful touch. Green remains at 2 over par for the championship, and really quite good considering the triple bogey 7 that she made back at the 7th hole. Helen Alfredson now for her par.
And Gary, earlier in the year when she won those 2 tournaments, it was these putts, the 3 and 4 footers, that Helen was able to nail, and that made all the difference in her game. She has a lot of trouble staying steady over the putts. Sometimes she moves more than others.
Okay, nicely done. She'll remain at 4 over par for the championship. And we go back to 11.
Pat Bradley, this for a bogey 5. But you accept the bogeys in this championship and move on, and still Pat Bradley is at even par for the championship at the 10th. Long par 5. Kim Williams.
Kim Williams off the tee on this very difficult long par 5. A long carry off the tee. Perfectly split the middle, right up there with her playing competitors, Helen Dobson and Marie-Laure De Lorenzi.
So Kim Williams continues to chase down Laura Davies. She is at 2 under, along with Spalding, Pock, and Hurst.
From California to the Carolinas, a new movement is sweeping over golf. This is one phenomenon that has nothing to do with 300 yards through the air and everything to do with 2 feet on the green. The good news is that FootJoy, the #1 shoe in golf, is also leading the alternative spike revolution with more ground-gripping, spikeless choices than anyone. And only FootJoys come with Soft Spikes XP, the #1 way to grip the course, not rip the course.
Ah, the life of a fancy pedigreed pooch. Even gets to sit in a brand new Bravada. Check it out. Compact disc and cassette player, leather trimmed seats, they're probably heated. Power windows, power everything. Been licking a silver spoon your whole life, huh?
Actually, you can expect all these features and more in the newly redesigned Oldsmobile Bravada for just $329 a month.
Wonder if you can lease this puppy.
The new Bravada. It knows the road.
Welcome back to Black Wolf Run Golf Course, a golf course named after a chief of the Winnebago tribe in the early 1800s. Just a spectacular venue for this championship. The first time that a major championship among the women has been staged in the state of Wisconsin. And there are some breathtaking views just a couple of miles off the shores of Lake Michigan.
And here at the par 3 13th, tee shot for Dana Dorman. Trying to play a little low shot in here. And that is well executed. Dorman has made 12 consecutive pars. She'll have that putt to move to 1 under par for the championship. We'll go to 12.
Nancy Lopez, and we've said it a lot today, Roger. Much needed birdie.
You bet. We have said it a lot. Not much good has happened. This downhill slightly will move a little bit from left to right.
Might be.
Lucky here. Oh, that was a well-hit putt.
Still birdieless through 12. And the reaction by Nancy. Thought she might have had it.
Some days it doesn't seem to matter how well you hit your putts. All I do is go over the edge to irritate you a little bit more. I don't know what it is.
Well, you're not having a good day when your good ones miss.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Nancy does remain at +6. 9 shots off Laura Davies' lead. To 16.
Actually, Dan, we're at 17.
Excuse me, Gary.
And the tee shot of Beth Bauer. Amateur.
Somebody says be as good as you look. Another one says you'll like it.
She will. This 164-yard par 3.
Will that come back in that little...
Well, it's trying. Yeah. And we go now to 14. Tee shot for Tammy Green on the short par 4.
Tammy going with a 3-wood off the tee here today. Just aiming to hit it somewhere around 190, 200 yards on the left side. And it's in the left center of the fairway.
And she may not be able to see the flagstick from there. That mound that comes in about 60 yards short of the green may make her shot blind, and that's why they call the hole Blind Alley. We'll go to 10.
Second shot. Gary on this long par 5 for Kim Williams. 2 under, dropped the shot on the previous hole at the 9th. Jane Crafter is there, and this is a long par 5, Jane.
Indeed, indeed it is, Dan. This hole just demands you hit every shot perfectly. She's got to lay this up. Actually, she probably won't lay it up. She'll probably hit everything she has, get down there as close as she can.
Plays a cut shot, Jane?
Yes, she does. Not a really long hitter for her size. I mean, she's a very tall young lady, and you would think that she would hit it a little further, but yes, she plays more of a controlled fade.
Well, she doesn't release the club. She gets it up there and then sort of just leans in, holds on, and plays that little cut. So It's not going to get a lot of club head speed doing that.
Ahead to 12. Second shot for Pat Bradley on the par 4.
Yeah, going with the fairway wood, and this shot, if you land it just about right here, it'll feed right down into the hole just perfectly.
Keep coming right. Keep coming right. Go.
Like I said, just
Now
typical
go.
LPGA fairway wood, about 2 inches off line. Just a little.
Pat Bradley coming out for first bogey of the day. She's at even par.
And we're here at the 13th. Beth Daniel, but for a much-needed birdie. Currently at 5 over par after a triple bogey at number 10. And we go ahead to 18.
Second shot on this difficult finishing hole. Jenny Shasiraporn at +1.
And watch this swing. You're going to be watching it for the next 20-something years. That is perfect, right on the plane going back. tracking right at the pin. Birdie opportunity. I mean, that is as good as you can swing, and she's a long hitter. She's got the complete game. Should be a superstar.
She'll have that putt for an opening round. 71 even par. And her brother Joey
even replaces divots. She's got it all.
Toting the bag. And a look at her scorecard today. Four bogeys, 3 birdies. Let's go to the 14th tee.
And the tee shot for Dottie Pepper. Really not quite as intimidating as it looks, although she's leaning like it might be headed a little right.
Oh, Gary.
Oh, that'll be interesting.
Is that on the rocks?
That is on the rocks and in the hazard. We go to 16.
Thank you, Gary. A moment ago, Jenny lid back her 4th shot.
Very stiff-wristed little pitch shot, looking good.
Birdie 4 for Lidback, and she is in the red numbers at 1 under. Back-to-back birdies at 15 and 16. And all of a sudden, she's just 2 off the pace. Back to 13.
And back at 13, birdie putt now for Dana Dorman. This, after 12 consecutive pars, would move her to 1 under par for the championship.
Are the players having trouble reading this also?
Well, John, I think they know what's going to the right. I don't think that's, it's pretty obvious. I think the question is speed. If you hit it too easy, it moves more to the right than they think. But that's a good stroke. And Dana Dorman moves to 1 under par. Playing some very steady golf. Go ahead to the par 3, 17th, Beth Bauer. But for birdie, this one will swing considerably to the right.
She was just above that draw, huh?
Well, certainly was. She'll have an easy tap-in par and remain at 2 over, and we'll be right back with more first-round coverage.
Here. Oh, man, I knew this was gonna happen. I don't want to smoke pot, but I can't just say no. I want to hang with these guys. They're my friends. What if my parents find out? What if my parents know? What if I cough? I'll look weird. If I don't, I'll look cool. No, I won't. I'll look stupid. If I smoke, I could lose it. If I don't, I could lose my friends. No, thanks. Cool, man.
Don't want to, don't have to.
Can't protect you anymore.
We're finished. He's getting to her. How do you know what goes on inside his head?
I'd be more concerned about staying alive.
What next? La Femme Nikita, Sundays at 10, 9 Central.
Dottie Pepper playing the par 4 14th. Let's bring in the executive director of the USGA, David Fay.
Well, Dottie crossed the hazard, and it's a yellow hazard. So it crossed, let's say, Johnny, if you can mark about where
it went right in there.
Right in there, and she's able to keep the point where the ball last crossed the hazard between herself and the hole. And as you can see, that option there is what she's going to use.
She will now take her drop and will be playing her 3rd shot. Well, she's just trying to make sure that the ball didn't drop closer, and Helen Alfredson will play next.
Helen with a wedge, a very unlucky lie, ball in a divot, partially covered with sand. Gonna hack it out of there.
Sounded good.
Asking for it to release, and no, she did catch it solidly, John. That had a lot of spin. We go back to 10.
Kim Williams, 3rd shot on this par 5 at 2 under, 1 back.
Let's see if it comes back. She started a little left of the hole. And down in the trough, just above it, unfortunately, because then it shoots it right. 3 balls there.
13 tee.
And the tee shot for Nancy Lopez. Roger Maltby's there.
Yeah, the wind from the right, and maybe slightly against the players.
132 yards measurement today.
This should be an 8-iron. Ball's right of the hole, flirting with the right side. Watch out.
Man, lip out the putts, lip in the water, huh?
The ball took a right. It looked like it crossed the hazard line. Whether it went down into the hazard, into the water itself, I don't know, but it did cross the hazard line.
We move ahead to 14. Third shot now for Dottie Pepper.
Dottie just inside 100 yards, gripping down on a wedge. It's a little three-quarter wedge shot. Hitting 3.
Needs to make sure she lands it short. Now she's carried it all the way to the hole, and that will release and run a little left. Hole sitting right down a little hollow. The best shots we've seen are the ones that come in just short of the hole location. We'll go to 11.
Third shot for Emily Klein at this par 4.
Interesting shot selection, going with at least a sand wedge, maybe a lob wedge back off her right foot. Picks it up quickly and jets it past.
We'll try to save par from there to remain at even to 14.
Second shot for Tammy Green on the way. Should have a little spin, and she'll be left with about a 12-footer for a birdie. We go ahead to 18.
Jenny Shasiraporn trying to get to even par. Turns 21 years old next month, a senior to be at Duke. Only woman to win back-to-back ACC titles. And a 2-time All-American there. Her older brother, Joey, who you saw caddying for her, plays golf at Penn State. And it is really a family affair this week for the Shasiraporns. Her parents, Paul and Edie, closed the family's Thai restaurant this week, so they can all be here at Black Wolf Run, and Jenny has not disappointed. This for an opening round of 71.
You can see they're still a little undecided, maybe where the line is, but it's sort of an awkward putt. It's makeable. I've seen a lot of putts. Annika made it from over here. It goes just a little bit left to right, and it's quite fast. Looks like she was playing it to break left, and it just does not break left. She was aiming over there.
Still an impressive 1/72 for Shasiraporn. Also a member of the Curtis Cup team. Back to 11, and Klein for par.
Seen this putt earlier. Slow, not a lot of break. Got a truck going by or something, making a lot of noise, and maybe she just wasn't set. Just study the tempo. If you got the nerves to stroke it like this on fast greens, this is the perfect tempo to just roll the ball. See the high hands, no hands at all. Just rock the shoulders, real slow. Man, she was playing. It looked like about 3 inches out, and it was just maybe a half an inch out.
She'll fall to +1. We'll go to 13.
Nancy Lopez is taking her drop. We'll bring in David Fay.
Well, unlike Dottie Peppers, this is a lateral water hazard. So now Nancy is going to use an option which will, next page, we'll move to the next page. Those are the water hazard options. There it is, the top one. She'll drop a ball within 2 club lengths of the spot where it last crossed the red line, no nearer the hole, and that's probably why she's calling in the official. It's a bit of an oversimplification, but think of it this way. Water hazards are pretty much frontal hazards that you have to cross in playing the hole. Lateral hazards are, generally speaking, off to the side. And that's why lateral water hazards, you have more relief options, and they are seemingly more generous.
And you saw that drop, and some of you probably wonder, how the heck can she drop it from the rough over to there? But the bottom line is it crossed in this area, and it wasn't any nearer the hole to drop it there.
Well, one step further, you can have a situation on a lateral water hazard where you can actually, if your nearest point is within 2 club lengths and it's on the green and it's no nearer the hole, you can drop the ball on the green. The ball can't roll onto the green, but you can, in some instances, drop the ball on the green. That happens quite often at Bay Hill, where Arnold Palmer's tournament is played in the spring.
You can see it's a little tough to line up your putt from behind the hole, huh, Roger?
The way she's going, I'd be careful. She might end up in that lake.
Just barely went in the water, huh?
Oh, it took a little bounce to the right, but John, you can't let the ball be right of the hole here. I mean, there's quite a bit of room to the left, and it was just a loosely played shot. Just now back uphill, move right to left.
Yeah, it's a good roll at it, but maybe the 7th bogey of the day with no birdies.
And ahead at the 14th, Dottie Pepper putt for her par. Back up the hill, not much movement. That'll be a disappointing bogey for Pepper on the easiest hole on the golf course. We go back to 10.
Kim Williams for birdie to get back to 3 under.
She's got that putt. Everybody leaves short and right.
And that was a little long and right, but well to the right. Kim Williams will remain at 2 under and will go over to 12. This a moment ago at the par 4. Brandy Burton's birdie attempt. Perfect speed and a heart, and Brandy Burton moves back to even par. And we'll go back to the 6th, par 3. Sarah Halleck at 2 under. Birdies at the 1st and the 4th.
Great start. It's not a hard putt right here. It's inside left. And pushed it.
2-time All-American at Stanford. Playing in her very first Women's Open, 25 years old. But she was a 2-time All-American in field hockey. Not golf. She walked on after taking up the game at the age of 17. Part of the story and fabric of the Women's Open.
I play golf for a living.
Nick Price, the winningest golfer of the 90s.
And this is the ball I play, the new Precept MC, a ball I helped to develop. Why do I play it? It's really quite simple, because I play golf for a living.
Introducing the new Precept MC. With golf balls or the people who play them, it's what's inside that makes a winner.
Because there is a man in Chicago planning his retirement this year. Because there is a family in Boston who hopes to send their kids to college someday. Because there is a doctor in New York looking forward to the day she will open her own clinic. Because the dreams of every investor continue to change in a complex world, so too have we. Which is why at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we measure success one investor at a time.
Got a funny youth baseball video? Enter the Blimpie Blooper Contest. Pick up an entry form at your neighborhood Blimpie restaurant. Got a funny youth baseball video? Enter the Blimpie Blooper Contest. Pick up an entry form at your neighborhood Blimpie restaurant.
My mama always said, you'd be surprised how much you can get done. If it's all gotta get done, that means keeping an eye on things. So I wondered about snacks cooked in that new fat-free cooking oil called Olean. I found out the Crisco folks came up with it, starting from crops to grow here, like soybeans. The chips taste real good, have a lot less fat and fewer calories. You know a good thing when you see one.
New fat-free Olean, a good place to start.
Welcome back to scenic Kohler, Wisconsin, the rolling hills and the valley here. Black Wolf Run Golf Course. Let's send you back out to 14.
The second shot for Dana Dorman. This short par 4.
She really spins it, Gary. Watch this. Nope,
Well, that one releasing just nicely, rolling right down into the hollow where we've seen so many shots today. She'll have a very short putt for birdie 3. We go to 13, par 3. Randy Burton's tee shot. And that'll leave an interesting putt. Johnny, I'll let you telestrate some of that when we get the chance.
You've been watching it, and we haven't seen one even come close from there, have you?
No, we really haven't. It's safely on the green, but just very, very difficult. Pat Bradley will be next to play. Bradley still hanging right in there at even par for the championship.
What do you like about her game, Gary? I could see the swing is just probably the heart, huh?
Well, I think she's had wonderful tempo and rhythm in her swing through the years, John. No question about it. Always been an excellent iron player. It's a lot of little three-quarter hole shots. It does it very well. Kind of like that.
Sounded a little muffy.
That one might have been a little heavy.
Yeah.
But that's not that bad. Being short, you're pitching it right straight up the hill. I'd rather be there than way on the green to the left. We'll go to 18.
Beth Bauer finishing up, faced with this long birdie. This would be a nice 2-putt and get into the clubhouse with an opening round of 73.
It's fast from up here because she's on a different level than where the hole location is. Once she gets, there's a little brow of this hill here, and once she puts it off to that flat there, then down it goes. So watch her tempo of her stroke. She almost pauses at the top. She's got gorgeous putting tempo. Wow. There's the top of the brow of the hill, and down it goes now. Not bad. Leaves herself straight uphill, about 3.5, 4 feet.
Bauer set the 18-hole and 36-hole scoring records in the qualifying rounds of the 97 U.S. Girls Junior Championship. She shot 68 and 66.
She's a player.
Here at the par 4 14th, tee shot for Nancy Lopez.
Do you think this is an awkward shot for her?
I would certainly think so. I think her normal tendency is to move the ball from right to left, and if you're going to play that shot, you certainly have to flirt with the water.
And most of her mistakes have been to the right today.
Want to land what, in this area here, Gary?
Johnny, that is ideal if you can get it there. You really only need to hit it about 210, 215 off the tee.
Bradley in good shape.
See if it stays out of the divots.
It does, and that should be a birdie opportunity for her. She can play any kind of second shot. The whole location here at 14, pretty easy.
Well, a reminder that you can join us again tomorrow for continuing second round coverage of this Women's Open Championship for the Black Wolf Run Golf Course here in Kohler. 4 more hours of action beginning at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, noon Pacific. You see the picture there of Allison Nicholas, but the defending champion opened up with a plus 778 today. So Nicholas, who came into this championship with not the best of hopes, said she was a little rusty. Also has been recovering from a viral infection. Bronchitis has bothered her for much of the year. Well, there's all sorts of wildlife here, but is this pheasant season, Johnny?
Nice rooster right there. That gets some people riled up.
Colorful.
That's very unusual. Showing off. Beautiful bird.
And speaking of birdies, Bradley looking for one at 13, Gary.
And a relatively easy little pitch up the hill here, Dan. Moving a little bit from her left to right.
A little nervous from these tight lies, though.
Yeah, she played it very nicely.
That hit something.
It sure did. It looked like it hit an old ball mark or something. And jumped
right
way
in this
up
area.
there.
Whoops, excuse me, but popped up. That should help a little.
She did manage to gas it by there about 3 or 4 feet, and that will leave a downhill putt breaking from her right to left. Up ahead to 18.
Beth Bauer for her par and an opening round of 73.
Well, she's got the kind of putt she wants. Taking that deep breath just to settle the old blood pressure down a little bit, and it's just one of the best putting strokes I've seen. You just can't putt with a better stroke than this.
Just turned 18 years old in March.
Another likely super player of the future. Watch the hand action and how solid it is.
And a solid 73 for Beth Bauer. +2. Looking to play the weekend in her first U.S. Women's Open.
Yeah, amateurs are doing fine today, aren't they?
Total of 14 playing in this championship, and Brenda Corey Keene so far the low amateur at 1 under. Shasira Porn +1.
Very good stuff, huh?
Well, 31 years ago today, Johnny, Catherine Lacoste became the only amateur ever to win the U.S. Women's Open. Over at 11, the par 4, second shot for Kim Williams, a stroke off the pace.
With her little high cut, this whole location right there, it's perfect for her. And see how that kicks right, spins right. That was a green light special for her.
And a 14.
Birdie putt for Dana Dorman. Chance to get to 2 under par with 1 of the lead. No, that was...
She was aiming there, Gary.
Yeah, that was left all the way. Played too much break. We go to 15.
Second shot for Dottie Pepper. 7 iron.
Nice balance. And she says, be as good as you look, and I think it is.
I think that's looking pretty good for Dottie Pepper. After bogeying the 14th to drop to +2, can get one back there. 14 now.
Second shot for Nancy Lopez. Roger Maltby's with the group.
This from 106 yards, and as Johnny said, birdie opportunity with the slope from the right. With nothing but a wedge in your hand, you would think you could get this pretty close.
Again, the whole location, every ball wants to funnel right toward it.
This ball pulled. Oh, long too.
Oh man, what a shot, Roger. Talk about unforced error.
Some days are like that.
Wow, that was not good.
You could almost see it in her eyes there.
Well, who would have thought the magic duo of Alison Nicholas and Nancy Lopez from last year would be 7 over and 7 over at this stage of the first round of the championship?
I don't think there's ever been a build-up as much as there has been in this one of somebody who finished second the previous year to try and win it. But so far, not good at all for Nancy. 13.
Par putt now for Pat Bradley, and this one will test the nerves. Down the hill, moving left.
Playing it off the toe of the putter.
Good stroke. Yes, she sure did. That's the wily old veteran, isn't it?
Yeah, that was sort of cool. I like that.
Play it off the toe of the putter, deadens the hit just a little bit.
And it keeps the ball right, you know. When you hit on the toe, it has a tendency to open the face a little bit and keep it out to the right so you don't miss it low.
And Bradley remains at even par for the championship. And we'll go to 11.
Kim Williams. And Jane Crafter is there as Kim Williams gets set for a possible potential birdie tying putt.
Yes, indeed, Dan. She's got not an easy putt ahead of her, though. She just had a good read from Helen Dobson putting ahead of her. She's got to come down quite a steep slope. Should throw the ball a little bit to the left, as Helen's did. She had a pretty good shot in here, as Johnny said before. It was definitely a green light special. Unfortunately, it kicked up a little bit further than she wanted. She was hoping that little backstop would kick it back to the hole.
Well, Jane, we've talked about players who have emerged as surprises today. Leslie Spalding certainly is one of those who shot a 69, but Kim Williams probably would have to be in that same category. This is a golfer who made just 4 cuts in her last 14 starts.
So you're looking out to the right about a foot or more. It's looking pretty good. Just had too much pace on it, huh, Jane?
Yeah, she definitely hit that too far.
14 we go.
And the third shot for Nancy Lopez. And Roger, if you had a chance to look at the lies, is it as bad as it looks?
It is not a good live ball sitting down grass, very tall behind the ball, Gary, and she's going to have to pick the club up quickly and try to just chop it down on this ball.
Thing is, she's pitching
That's
back
well played.
uphill. Nicely done. She will manage to save her par, but that was not what she was looking for there. 13. This was Brandy Burton for her par. Just overborrowed, and another 3-putt from the left side of the green at 13. We've seen plenty of them. Laura Davies in early with a 68, remains our leader in the clubhouse as we start winding our coverage down.
Are we gonna have a good time tonight?
Bye, Dad. Thanks for jumping in and watching Tyler.
Bye, Mommy, Mommy,
Bye,
Mommy.
sweetie.
There he goes.
If you knew you were going to be a babysitter today,
Glad it wasn't my teeth.
you would have made sure you used your Fixodent.
Come here. Oh, what do you do?
Hey, smart move. You did use your Fixodent. So now you're ready
Gotta wait.
for just about anything. For strongest hold guaranteed. Fixodent and forget it.
Do I have to take him with me? Yeah. You don't know, Mom. The last time he fell into a manhole, it was almost on TV. A manhole?
Your kids have a million reasons not to do what you want them to, but not with Sunny Delight. Kids love that Sunny D taste. You love the vitamins.
Let's go. Come on, Shorty. Mr. Shorty to you. Yeah.
Reach for the good stuff. Reach for the sun. Sunny Delight.
The amazing Chicago Bulls did it again. Share the excitement of the Bulls' 6th NBA championship in this thrilling new video, Unforgettables. Plus, get this hardcover SI commemorative, both free with your paid subscription to Sports Illustrated. It's your chance to spend a sensational season and playoffs with the unbeatable Bulls, the team of the 90s.
So creative.
Plus, you'll treasure forever this individually numbered SI Championship commemorative. Both are free with your order of 54 issues of SI for only $1.47 an issue. Save over 50% off the cover price. You also get this great Bulls Championship CD free when you use your credit card. It's the arena music and sounds that make the Bulls feel at home. Call now to get your Bulls Championship pack free from SI. The Chicago Bulls and Sports Illustrated. You can't beat them.
Par putt for Kim Williams at the 11th to remain at 2 under. And she does remain 1 off for the lead by Laura Davies. To 15. Dottie Pepper, this for birdie after that outstanding approach shot down the hill. Easy birdie for Dottie. Offsets the bogey at 14, gets back to +1. Hovering right around even par all day long. And at 18, this is Jenny Lidback for birdie.
Not an easy putt. Crossing the green. And there was a lot of uphill at the beginning, and it killed the putt. She was seeing the second part, which was downhill.
She is at 1 under. She has a birdie at 15 and 16. That left for par at 18, and we'll go to the clubhouse and rejoin Hannah Storm. Hannah?
Thanks, Dan. I'm here with Jenny Shasir-Poor, the 2-time All-America from Duke, and one of the several amateurs playing well here today. Think there's less pressure on amateurs coming into an Open? The pros put a lot of pressure on themselves.
There's probably, I don't know, actually, because we don't really, we're not really playing for any money, so I guess that's a little pressure off. But I think it's a lot of pressure playing in front of a crowd like this. But, I enjoy it. I think a lot of us amateurs enjoy the attention and enjoy just the competition.
You were really grinding out there today. Tell us about your round.
I made a couple bogeys, a couple 3-putts on the round, but I was pretty satisfied with the way I played overall. I made 3 birdies on the day, so that that helped me out a little bit. But
well, you made 1 on 14. Let's take a look at your second shot on 14.
Well, I had about 80 yards into the green, and I knew I just had to fly it exactly 80 to get it to roll down to the pin. And this putt was straight, so.
You were low amateur last year at the Women's Open, and an Open can be really overwhelming for a young player. What did you learn from last year that you took into this year?
I just learned to be patient. I was you know, I thought I was going to be nervous out there, but going out there, stepping on the first tee, I just wasn't nervous right off the bat. So I felt really comfortable out there, and I just learned to, you know, learn some new shots, learn some, just keep my cool and not to get nervous and just play one shot at a time.
Well, Duke should have a great team next year. You got Beth Bauer coming in, and she had did a great job today as well with a 73. Now let's go to 18.
Thank you, Hannah. And this is Jenny Lidbeck for par. Jenny's only win, a major, back in '95, the Du Maurier Classic.
This putt breaks left all the way.
Unfortunately, that'll be Jenny's only second bogey of the day, but disappointing way to end it, but a pretty good first round. Even par 71, just 3 back. And we'll go back to the 13th tee.
And the tee shot for Emily Klein here at the par 3.
Punch shot on Gary.
Yeah, she plays a lot of those. It looks as though she's pulled it. Yeah, that's over in that left area where we've seen everybody struggle from.
Got a nice little ricochet at the end, though, off that collar, just enough to clear the path of the shot.
And ahead to the 14th. Second shot for Brandy Burton. Positioned ideally right in the center of the fairway. She's pulled that, and that ball lands right on the downslope.
Just like Nancy's.
Yeah, that's just an unforced error, as you said, John. Anything to the right, and it'll funnel it right toward the hole. And you know that as a player, and that's what makes it doubly disappointing, I think, when you hit a shot that poorly.
Well, guys, we see the unforced error stat in tennis. Maybe it's time to incorporate that into this sport, huh?
Well, I'll be very surprised if you see Pat Bradley's ball left of the hole. Coming in just right, should funnel left. Very nicely played. She'll have that 7-footer, which could move her within 2 shots of our leader, Laura Davies, as the first round of the 53rd United States Women's Open starts to come to a close. There's been some good scoring today, ideal conditions, very little breeze, and the Black Wolf Run course, an excellent test. We'll be right back with more.
Tisher, quality and value. Tisher, luxury and style, the best name in the business.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your pulses. Test drive the extraordinary Boxster and the totally redesigned 1999 911 at Tisher, just north of the Beltway on Route 29 and Briggs Cheney Road, Silver Spring.
Tisher brings the world to you. The best name in the business. Tisher. Shelley does it right.
Shelley's doing it right with this 1998 Grand Cherokee Laredo 4-wheel drive, automatic, power windows and locks, AC, cruise control, stereo cassette, and much more. Just $23,795. Or this 1998 Plymouth Grand Voyager, air, automatic, V6, just $18,895.
Shelley does it right. Like a friend.
Places so much importance on etiquette. Giving everyone a chance to play is the ultimate courtesy, which is why the USGA helps provide access for young golfers through the Good of the Game Grants program. Because it would be bad enough to step in someone's line, but it would be unforgivable to step on someone's dream. Become a member of the USGA and you'll receive the Rules of Golf, a year subscription to Golf Journal, an official USGA bag tag with your name on it, and a USGA towel, all for only $15. Just call 1-800-345-USGA.
Well, a little 6:30 Eastern Time. I don't know, East Coast, in case you just got back from work and wondered what happened earlier in this first round of the 53rd U.S. Women's Open. Leslie Spalding, playing in her third year on tour, never made a cut in an Open. Birdie putt at 18, part of an opening round 69. Leader in the clubhouse at the time, Sari Pak, 20-year-old rookie sensation, joined her there at 2 under after that par putt at 18. She parred the last 11 holes. Donna Andrews figured to be a favorite here. The leading money winner was at 2 under before problems at the par 3 17th. Tee shot found the water, but then did save bogey with that long putt. First round 1 under 70 for Donna. Struggles though for Allison Nicholas. But as you look at Lisa Lott Neumann there, 1 under today with that birdie putt at 18. Annika Sorenstam fought back gamely. She was +3 through the first 7 holes, tripled the 5th. 3 under golf after that, including that birdie at 16. That got her back to +1. And then she took aim with her second shot at the difficult par 4 18th, the 421-yard hole, longest par 4 on the golf course. And Annika set herself up for a finishing birdie, which she converted. Back-to-back Women's Open champion in 95 and 96, looking for her 3rd Open title in 4 years. Opening round of 71 for Annika. Laura Davies didn't have high hopes coming into this championship, had missed the cut in 4 of the last 5 events, thought she might be on a plane on Saturday back to England, but this is her second shot at 18. Within gimme birdie tap-in range, and Laura Davies ended up with a surprising 3 under round of 68. 4 birdies, just 1 bogey on her card today. Nancy Lopez, after the runner-up finish last year, tee shot at the par 3 8th. Tough start for Nancy. Bogey at 2 and 3. Also at 7, that errant shot added to another bogey at the 8th. Also bogey the 9th. Front side of 40 for Nancy. She's still working the backside. Helen Alfredson on the same hole. Yardage 161. An ace for Alfie. That moved her from +5 to +3. She currently stands at +4. Kim Williams has to be considered one of the surprises today. This for birdie at the 6th. And one of 3 birdies on the front 9 for Kimberly Williams. She has since bogeyed the 9th to drop to 2 under and has parred the 10th and 11th to remain just 1 back of the leader in the clubhouse, Laura Davies, at 3 under. As we send you back to the action at the 14th.
Pat Bradley lining up this very makeable putt for a birdie 3, a chance to move to 1 under par for the championship within 2 of leader Laura Davies. Breaking ever so slightly to her right. And Bradley records the 21st birdie here at 14 for the day, the easiest hole on the course. Takes advantage of a well-played second. We'll move to 16.
Par 5, 3rd shot. Dottie Pepper, 8-iron.
You're right.
She likes it. Last time
the
she
right
said
club.
that, she knocked her for a gimme.
Go in.
And another magnificent approach shot.
Chance for another birdie for Pepper at 15. Second shot for Nancy Lopez.
Beautiful tempo, semi-blind shot here over the hill. The green's down underneath that. That's a good-looking shot.
Still in search of her very first birdie of the day. 13.
Emily Klein with this 3.5, 4-foot putt now for a par 3. Played a beautiful shot from the left fringe. See the caddy behind actually plumb bobbing. quite sure what he's going to do at this point, but ideal place to putt from, right up the hill. Beautiful stroke, good tempo, and Emily Klein remains at 1 over par for the championship. And it's Kim Williams still out on the course with a chance to catch our leader. We'll be right back with more.
Everybody knows that music is my life. When I approach the microphone and I prepare to sing, one thing always comes to mind. This. Reminds me exactly of my biggest Big Bertha. With one of these, I know my drive will go on and on.
You've got the style, you've got the rhyme, you're breaking free, you've hit your stride. Get out and play, this is your day, you make it whoopee.
You've got it handled. The quick and nimble DeVille with the North Star system.
Go for it all, having a ball now, you make it whoopee.
DeVille, for the time of your life.
Kim Williams, second shot at the par 4 12th. She's at 2 under, 1 back.
Going with a long iron, 410 yards, dogleg right. It's uphill second here. Whole location's accessible. Not too bad. Leaves herself underneath the hole. Not a bad spot at all.
To the 15th tee, par 4, 350 yards. Pat Bradley coming off the birdie at 14, back in red numbers at 1 under, but not in the fairway on that tee shot.
Didn't stick it, sort of eased into it and hit it in the left bunker, and it's a very difficult blind second shot.
16, the par 5. Tammy Green for birdie, and Kay Cockrell is with this group.
She has an excellent opportunity here for birdie, coming off a 3-putt on the last hole that put her to +3 for the tournament. Now inside of 10 feet. And not much break to this putt. If anything, left edge.
Sort of an awkward read, isn't it? I mean, you sort of want to put it to the front of the green, the break, but it doesn't do that. There we go.
Birdie for Green, back to +2. At one point was +4. Pepper is next.
This whole group is really fighting and clawing their way around the golf course, and Dottie, it seems, is bound and determined to shoot a round of even par, possibly even better.
Currently at +1 after birdie on the previous hole. Just one major in Dottie Pepper's resume. 14 wins, but the Dinah Shore back in '92, her only major championship.
Last hole had pretty much a tap-in putt for birdie, and this putt just outside of 3 feet. Get her back to even par.
Birdie for Pepper at 15 and 16, and she's within 3.
Thanks.
Good stuff there, Dan.
She'll move to the 17th. And we'll move back to the 15th as Nancy Lopez makes her way up. Again, Nancy Lopez probably had as much support, not only last year, but even before this championship began, as any golfer I've ever seen, Johnny. Just amazing, and she just soaked it all in, thought she really had a chance to make another run here, but with not one birdie on her scorecard. This is a chance for one here, but 7 bogeys.
Well, 48 wins to her credit in the U.S. You'd have thought one of those would be the national championship, and I know it's really something she's wanted more than anything else, and sort of a legacy for her. Maybe been more instrumental in pushing the women's game to the heights that it's at today, especially televised golf. She's been the one. She's been the Arnold Palmer of women's golf.
This to get to +6.
Just what a day.
How many of those have we seen today?
Just nothing's gone right for her.
To 12, Kim Williams has a birdie opportunity. Jane?
Well, Dan, Kim left it perfectly pin high. She has about 20 feet, a little bit right to left. I putted this putt this morning before play began, and it's quite slippery. Once it gets over this knoll, 2/3 of the way to the hole, it'll definitely break left and be quite quick. As you can see, it did pick up speed and didn't break quite as much as she thought.
She seems pretty comfortable with how she's playing. I mean, it's not like, you know, usually you can see a player is a little jittery or, you know, pretty pumped about her name being on the leaderboard. She's sort of matter-of-factly going about her business.
Yeah, Kim is like that. She's a pretty matter-of-fact kind of person. She calls a spade a shovel, and, you know, she just really goes along, doesn't let anything bother her. She has a lot of confidence in herself and knows that she belongs on the top of this leaderboard.
17.
This is the longest and most difficult of the 4 par 3s here. Today measuring 164 yards. Tee shot for Dottie Pepper.
Have a seat right there.
Ball carried just on the far side of one of the little slopes and kicks hard forward into the intermediate rough. We'll go back to 15.
Pat Bradley in that big bunker.
Yeah, another one of those long bunker shots that we've seen. 153 yards.
No, not the camera.
It's blind from there. That's why you're saying, where the heck do we aim this? And he's saying, how about the tower and the whole location? Very difficult to get a good line and feel comfortable when you can't see the flagstick. But that's one of the Pete Dye designs that on a lot of the holes, if you get out of position, you just don't see it. And you'll see her head, just the top of her head, her shoulders and head from here. Not an easy shot at all if you're trying to get a good footing. And the main thing is just to swing level and let the club do the work for you. Otherwise, you'll hit it right into this bank right here, which could happen. Easy to hit it fat when you're trying to hit it high. The easiest thing is chunk it. Might be good.
Well short, but still.
You know, I'm not so sure that she wasn't just playing it there. I really, because she hit it flush and she didn't go, oh darn, or I mean, I think another wily move by the veteran. Just put it there where she can wedge it down close, like she did at 9.
12. Kim Williams.
Dan, she just has a short 2-foot putt left for par. Should break a little bit left to right, and as we saw on number 9, Johnny, she really needs to play this inside the hole.
That's really the only hiccup we've seen, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
She was aiming outside the hole for some reason at 9.
Yeah, she really needs to play this just inside the hole, and yeah, good stroke.
Another par for Williams. Remains at 2 under. To 16, third shot, par 5 for Dorman.
I like her swing. She has a lot of down in it. Boom. See that little chase move, Lee Trevino, that kind of swing. Puts a lot of spin on the ball when she hits it right, but she hits right on the downslope of that knob. That's what makes this course very difficult, is you hit these little knobs and it just shoots it. So, a little easy pitch shot, though.
To 14.
And the second shot for Emily Klein. Perfectly positioned, left center of the fairway. This is coming right at it. And a nice shot. She'll have that short putt and a chance to get back to even par for the championship. Playing a very solid round of golf. And it was earlier today, Laura Davies in with that fine 68. No one has been able to catch her, although there has been some good scoring under ideal conditions. Don Andrews, the leading money winner on the LPGA Tour, in with a solid round of 70. Brenda Corey Keene with a wonderful round of 70 as an amateur. Dale Egling, who won earlier in the year at 71. And John, I would have to say even these players at 72, you know, and 2 over, still right there.
Yeah, because if the wind happens to kick up, you could kick up a couple days out of the next 3, and if it picks up 10, 15, 20 miles an hour, par is looking real good as a winning score, and maybe over par if that is the case. So anybody that keeps touch with par is going to have a chance of keeping touch with the leaderboard.
Rosie Jones, who won the tournament in Rochester a few weeks ago, 74. Martha Nowsey, the local player with the huge following, 74 as well. And we'll go to 15.
Third shot for Pat Bradley, trying to save par yet again.
Well, I don't know what happened there. That wasn't that tough of a shot, and she just missed the green with a little flip wedge. So very discouraging there, to be wise enough to lay it up into a nice yardage and from the fairway and then hit that shot.
17.
And here at the 17th, Kate, it appears Tammy Green will be first to play.
She will. Very, very tough little chip shot. Both she and Dottie have almost identical shots ahead of them. Ball nestled down just a little bit in that first cut of rough, and very delicate. Big right to left break as well. Played that pretty nicely.
Well, following the completion of our coverage here at Black Wolf Run, we've got Sports Center with Bob Stevens and Bill Pito standing by in the studios. Some of the top stories they'll be touching on: Ken Griffey Jr.'s home run chase, record home run chase continues. Also, Pepsi 400 canceled, and the Bulls coaching news. More on that coming up on Sports Center next, following the golf. Back out to 17.
Dottie Pepper will be next to play, and there's a good look at the line. That thing is really nestled down.
I think the toughest thing about this shot is it's delicate in that the green is sloping away. It has a big break, but you have to hit it aggressively.
That bluegrass is tough stuff, isn't it, Gary?
Well, it is, and must make sure you accelerate the club through. And that's exactly what Kay was talking about. I always felt like you wanted to really hang on with your left hand and pick the club up kind of quickly and just pull through. That was a very well played shot. Very nicely done. Go back to the 16th.
This will be the 5th shot for Dana Dorman. Correctly reported that it was her 3rd shot. Previous shot was her 4th, so that for par. She was in the bunker off the tee, had to just pitch it back out in the fairway. So Dana at 1 under.
Par 3 13th, tee shot for Kim Williams.
Good hole location with that wind and for her fade, huh, Gary?
Yeah, absolutely. Ought to be able to hold it right up against the wind. That's not bad. That's below the hole. And ahead to 14. Emily Klein now with a very makeable putt for a birdie. Down the hill. Might move just a smidge to the left. Oh, I think she got it started left. That was one of the first poor strokes we've seen her hit. And it'll be a disappointing par for Emily Klein. She'll remain at 1 over par and 4 behind our leader, Laura Davies. We'll be right back with more.
The average kid doesn't get straight A's. The average kid could live on French fries.
I could live on pizza and ice cream.
Gummy bears.
The average kid trusts their friends more than anybody.
The average kid is totally bored.
Totally bored.
The average kid has a lot more on their mind than you think.
The average kid is pretty strange.
The average kid has been offered pot.
The average kid thinks everybody else smokes it, but the average kid doesn't.
The average kid is anything but.
We're about ready to rock steady.
ESPN's presentation of the United States Women's Open Golf Championship is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
At the 16th, Dana Dorman for bogey. Ouch. Double for her, perhaps to +1 to 17.
Par putt for Dottie Pepper. Safely in, good up and down. She remains at even par for the championship. Just 3 back of leader Laura Davies. And we'll go over to 13, where Kim Williams has a putt to actually tie for the lead. Jane Crafter's there.
Well, Gary, she left it in a pretty good spot, a little below the hole, but it will break quite a bit from her left to right. Uphill, probably 18 to 20 feet. And this is to tie for the lead.
Is it firm enough?
Oh, not quite enough speed.
Still a very nicely played hole. She's giving herself plenty of opportunities, and that's all you can ask for.
Well, Gary, she really looks very in control of herself and her game. And obviously her back is not giving her too much trouble at the moment.
Taps in, remains at 2 under par.
Helen Dobson, her playing competitor, is even par at the moment. Hit a beautiful shot up here to about 8 feet.
We'll move to 16.
Nancy Lopez out in the fairway at the par 5, getting ready for her 3rd shot. Roger?
149 left of the hole. Missed the fairway right off the tee. Had to play over some trees, so couldn't advance the ball as far as she would have liked. So now a 7-iron ball, a little below her feet, a little downhill lie. Wind coming from the left. The big tree guarding the front of this green really shouldn't be a problem. She's far enough back where it's really not in play.
Well, Nancy Lopez, her poorest previous U.S. Open rounds, 79s. That was way back in the 70s, so it has been a while since Nancy has had this tough a round in an Open.
This is 7-iron just left of the hole.
Well, a tough day for Nancy Lopez, Johnny Miller, but as you take a look at the first page of the leaderboard, a lot of those players, including Laura Davies, who has the lead in the clubhouse right now at 3 under, played early this morning. Do you think they had an advantage, even though there wasn't much more wind in the afternoon?
Well, really, I think the afternoon could have been much tougher. The wind could have kicked up like it can do. We're only a few miles here from Lake Michigan, so the play today couldn't have been easier for the players. And so really we got an interesting leaderboard, tight in there. You can see Laura Davies with her great 68, but a lot of other good players. Pac, Hurst, a lot of good players up there.
Pac and Hurst have already won major championships this year. And that concludes our coverage of this first round action of the U.S. Women's Open at Black Wolf Run here in Kohler, Wisconsin. Be sure and join us tomorrow, second round coverage, same time, starting at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. So for Johnny Miller, Roger Maltby, Gary Koch, Jane Crafter, Kay Cockrell, and Hannah Storm, I'm Dan Hicks saying so long for now. Stay tuned. Sports Center is next. Laura Davies, the winner in '87, 11 years later, in contention again.
The following is a special presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Accidents happen, and no matter where or when they do, the world's largest claim service network gets on the case immediately. Prompt, personal claim service is no accident. So we can get you back on the road faster than you can say,
like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking vibrant is reserved for the very young. Do you believe that? Neither do I. Maturing skin can look vital too. But how? Clinical tests have proven that a new line of moisturizers from Oil of Olay, which combine a complex of Olay moisturizers, essential oils, and vitamins, revitalize the appearance of maturing skin and help bring back its look of healthy vitality. Women who have used it said their skin felt revitalized, more radiant. And the name? New Pro Vital for maturing skin. Proven to help you look revitalized.
Coming up on SportsCenter, can Sosa and Griffey put more July?
Alison Nicholas's improbable march to last year's title featured an unlikely spectator. Missing the cut may have relegated Laura Davies to the gallery, but it also gave her a front row seat to cheer on her countrywoman, her close friend. Golfing soulmates, Solheim Cup teammates. The spotlight this time belonged to the diminutive Brit. The biggest cheers, the deepest support came from Davies. Could Nicholas's win help inspire Davies to again hoist the grandest trophy of them all? A moment she realized 11 years ago when she burst onto the American scene with an Open title of her own, capped by a fatherly hug. Countless worldwide victories later, Davies is again in search of Open history. An unexpected opening round of 68 has the free-spirited long bomber on track for yet another championship run. Davies is thrilled to have again joined the chase. How great would it be to have her name etched again just below Alison's?
Woods will finish alone in third. I imagine Parnevik will finish. If he makes this putt, he'll be tied with Furyk, Raymond Russell, and the amateur Justin Rose for fourth. Again, really good. Is just not good enough. Watts wasting not a second. For the first time since the PGA of '96, we'll have a playoff in one of the four majors. We'll play 4 holes. Best aggregate score, 15 par 5. 16 par 4, 17 par 5, 18 par 4. If we don't have a winner then, we keep playing this last hole.
At the 15th hole, it will be decided.
Of course, there is official business to do
16th, 17th.
as the fans race back to the 15th so they can see a little bit of the third British Open playoff in this format. Here's how they finish. Rose gets no money, but gets the silver medal as the low amateur. Again, an American will win the British Open, just like Daly and Lehman